everybody, and welcome back to the Trifles and Tribulations podcast. We are now lore accurate with our sizes at the moment.
Yes.
So I'm tiny. I'm small bird. I don't know why I did this, but I just felt like doing it. Which is actually one of the things that I wanted to talk about is one, when people just sort of want to do stuff without really, talking about it with other people, kind of is it and this is the biggest things that I really like bothers me is sometimes stuff just happens and it's nobody's fault and people are upset and you feel upset because it's not your fault, but you also can't point the blame on anyone else because it's not necessarily their fault. Because I mean, one of the things that just happened is that I'm the reason why I'm late is because my parents need some help moving some totes and decorating the tree and whatnot, and you know, little chores, the spontaneous chores just kind of happen and pile up, and it's like, well, I mean, I didn't specifically have any plans or anything that I was going to do, and there's no like, specific time to do these things and whatnot, but it is sort of a little bit upsetting when you know stuff does catch you by surprise, and even if you don't have specific plans, you start planning ahead a little bit in your mind, and when something makes you stumble and stop that process, you kind of feel like, ugh, I was going to do a thing even though I didn't say it out loud, so it's kind of my fault, but that sort of
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's unfortunate and it happens, but again, it's not specifically anybody's fault. But yeah, that's sort of one of the annoying things is like, if you're gonna do something and it's going to affect other people, why can't you just say it? Well, it's because we didn't think about it until just now, and it would be very easy to do it right now when we're all here, and it's just right there. It makes sense, but also at the same time, it's a little bit annoying. But it's nobody's fault. You can't really point any fingers. It's just one of those things that is annoying, and you have to just accept and deal with it. And so that's what this podcast is all about. It's letting out that sort of angst and anger and annoyance and whatnot. So yeah, that was my beginning little spiel. Telgar, I know that you have a big thing that you want to get into. Telgar?
You alive, buddy?
Oh yeah, our specialist is here again.
What is our specialist expert of today?
Our specialist today is an expert in home economics. He knows exactly from a first-hand experience. He knows what it's like to be a tenant, and how to run a tenant system, and what it means to have like a good home and house and place to live and all that sort of stuff. So yeah,
That's
Freddie, what's the big problem with the housing market at the moment, and why is stuff so dang expensive, and why are home and house owners struggling to maintain their buildings and rent out, but also people can't buy new homes? What's the deal with that, with all that nonsense?
Where to begin? That's the thing. There's like, there's a bunch of problems.
Start.
Um,
Name one.
so there's a, so from the housing department that I have, there's a whole waiting list that could go on for months or even a year just for someone to get an apartment. Um, 'Cause there are times where the landlord or the person that's going to be selling you the apartment or whatever, they will come to your house or a previous apartment that you're living in. They're going to check your living, like your living habits, how well you clean the house. If you fail that, then you're not going to get an apartment.
What the heck? They're checking your previous work?
Pretty much, because
What
they
if the
gotta know
place
it's
that
like
you live in is a dump, but it's not even your fault?
it doesn't matter in their eyes. It's you live under the same house. You live under the roof. You have to help.
So you basically just can't even go up the ladder. You keep getting pushed down into the more dirty and dirtier slums.
Pretty much until you
Yep.
get that place cleaned.
And remodeled,
Oh,
apparently.
yes. Then you'll be added to the waiting list, which, like I said, will take months because there's like there's different districts where I'm from.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I was
So
not
yeah.
expecting you to have anything.
What do you mean?
I was expecting us. So when is the next recession coming?
But
Yeah,
no, main
explain
reason why I know-
inflation.
Ah, yes, inflation. Money go pump pump pump.
Alright, Telgar, there was something that you wanted to talk about?
Twitch is fucked.
Agreed.
That's about it.
What else is new?
Yeah, I know. The new TOS is just a fucking clown show. It's ridiculous.
Well, I don't know if it's a new category or if it's just like new rules that people can be like naked on stream now.
So, okay, so this is basically what's going on. So the issue is that Twitch has now revamped their sexual content guidelines. So if you read the actual update, basically what it officially says is in the actual update, word for word. Where is it? Oh wait, I pulled up the wrong fucking one. What the hell? Where the hell is it?
And I quote, it says exactly something like this.
Okay, so basically the problem right now is the fact that, as it currently states, right now in the guideline, you can now have sexual content all sexual content has been kind of condensed into one label. There used to be different labels for I think it was tobacco use, drugs, intoxication, violent or graphic depictions, gambling, sexual themes, all that kind of stuff. There were basically there were like two different classifications, I think, for sexual themes, and I think sexual language, and basically they converted them into just one tag. And now under this one tag, you can have certain forms of you can have newer forms of sexual content that were not allowed before. So basically what is now allowed under the sexual content tag is things like content that deliberately highlights breasts, buttocks, or pelvic region, even when fully clothed.
Jeez.
Streamers found it difficult to determine what was prohibited and what was allowed, and often evaluating whether or not the stream violated this portion of the policy was subjective. In addition, the former sexual suggestive content policy was out of line in district standards, blah, blah, blah. So basically, any content that deliberately highlights breast, buttocks, or pelvic region, even when fully clothed, that is now allowed. It was prohibited before. Fictionalized, so drawn, animated, or sculpted, fully exposed female-presenting breasts and or genitals or buttocks, regardless of gender, are now allowed.
Like,
Now,
you could be fully naked on Twitch now.
fully naked is allowed. But here's the problem, though. This is where it gets confusing.
Okay.
Fictionalized or fully exposed, blah, 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 is now allowed. Now, they say fictionalized means drawn, animated, or sculpted. So obviously not actual person nudity. But here's the problem. There's a thriving artist community on Twitch, and this policy was overly punitive and did not reflect the impact of the content. So basically what they're trying to say with this, is you can now draw stuff that has fully exposed female presenting breasts and or genitals or buttocks regardless of gender, and it will be okay. Now here is the problem.
VTubers?
VTubers are art. They are drawn. A VTuber is animated. So by definition, in their guidelines, a VTuber is allowed to be naked. But they're not. And they're being banned left and right for doing it. So their policy literally states you are allowed to be naked as a VTuber model.
I
But-
think the line is that it's supposed to be of fictional people, but a VTuber
And a
is like a
VTuber
fictional
is attached
persona.
to a person. Yes. Now here's the problem.
So what if you're drawing art of a VTuber or of someone?
Basically,
It's like the same
drawing
thing.
If you're drawing the art, you're drawing, and therefore you can actually show you drawing the genitals, and it would be allowed.
But the
you're
second that the
drawing
art
it.
is done, you have to get rid of it because then it's real.
And here's the problem.
Because if you're animating
That-
it, yeah.
Yeah. So here's the problem. Here is the legalese problem. It doesn't change from being art when it becomes an avatar. It's still art. It's drawn and therefore, by definition, is art. Now you can state that once it is attached to a camera, then it is different. But if that is the problem, then all you have to do is not attach it to a camera. Which means that you should be able to take your avatar and create a looping GIF of it as a nude avatar, not doing anything sexual, and that is by definition allowed by the top TOS.
Well, if you're like working
people
on
are
an
being banned for it.
animation, you can do that. And you can even show your animation real. But the
Yes.
second that you have like voice acting over it and it's an actual like full-fledged thing, that's not
That's
okay.
the problem. But that's the problem. There are VTubers. Here's a perfect example. Do you guys know Zone Tan or Zone Sama?
I do know that there is like a difference between the animator and the voice actor
Yeah.
because
I think Zone Tan is the voice actor. I don't remember. But anyway, she's not technically who I'm talking about. So on her channel on Twitch, she has a person who's called Cecilia Littlewing, I think. I don't remember exactly, but she's on her channel on Thursdays. She has like her own show, and it is not Zone. It's a different actual person. I actually follow her channel outside of Zone, and she's a completely different person. She actually does face cams. But anyway, this person has a show every Thursday, and on that show she has a model. You could call it a VTuber model, you can call it a PNG, doesn't matter. But she has a model, and it's animated, but it is not attached to a reactive, a mic, or a camera. It's just an animated model that loops an animation.
okay.
Doesn't change when talking. So it
Okay.
is technically, by definition, not attached to a person. It is just there as a placeholder.
Yeah.
A placeholder that's supposed to represent the person, but not attached. So technically, that is a piece of art. It is not attached to a person. By definition, it is allowed. If that model was naked, I guarantee you it'd be banned if they made the model naked. The TOS isn't working. They wrote a TOS that literally contradicts itself.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the problem, because the actual legalese behind what they said completely contradicts the people they're banning. And what I find so hilarious is that if someone took Twitch to court based off of these guidelines, they would win. Twitch would lose. And it's hilarious because Twitch is going to have to change this TOS because of it. Because it is too broad. It's too broad, and it does not specify anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't specify. Now, granted, Twitch has said in the past that a VTuber is the same as a real model in their mind. So therefore, if a VTuber is naked, that means the person is naked, and therefore it's not allowed. But that won't hold up in court, because a model is still art, and they now allow art. So they have now changed their rules to retroactively state that they are wrong and that art is allowed and a VTuber is art. So therefore, they've now just retroactively changed their rules to actually contradict what they said in the past. So they will have to reiterate now that they still mean that, which they have not done in the rules that I know of yet. So they've just shot their fucking selves in the foot. And what they need to do is what they should have done from the very beginning, that they should have done this whole time, and which would fix all of these problems Twitch has had for so long. And that's just outright ban all nudity of all forms.
Yeah.
That's all they need to do. And
I mean,
then,
that's sort of what they were going for originally, and so that's why I don't understand this new concept.
I don't think that's what they're going for.
I don't understand why they would change TOS,
yeah.
and then all this bullshit's happening and all that.
Yeah, why would they lax it? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why did they make it like more acceptable to have certain things prevalent?
Yeah, it's insane. And here's the thing, though. You can put in a case-by-case basis of saying if there is accidental nudity or if there is non-highlighted nudity, then it's okay. And what I mean by that is non-highlighted means that the stream is not based on it.
Right.
So if you're playing Baldur's Gate and there's a sex scene, that is not the focus of the stream. The focus of the stream is Baldur's Gate. The sex scene happens to be in it. That's what should be allowed.
Well, see, here's the problem with like designating different topic, not even talking about categories or whatnot, but like whatever the stream is about. Because if you say that you're going to play Grand Theft Auto 5, you have no idea what that person is going to be doing. Just because they've loaded up that game, you have no idea you don't know if they're going to be doing it modded. You don't know what kind of mods that they're going to be doing. You don't know if they're going to be running around shooting people, if they're going to be, in the casinos, smoking cigars, showing gambling, and, then calling a hooker later and showing, sexuality. Or if it's someone that's just like, hey, I want to buy a bunch of clothes and, do like a, fashion show or something. Or even just doing like the other mini games or with like doing racing. You have no clue what they're doing in that game.
True. And you know what? In that situation, if nudity shows up, that should be allowed because the game is not focused on it. Now,
but people would say
that
Grand Theft Auto should just not be allowed.
Well, see,
because it is a game that does have sexual tags.
Yes.
And like you cannot lump in what a stream or media is going to be solely based off of what game it's going to be.
No, you can. You can. And here's the perfect example of how you can. Visual novels where you are dating people and there are sex scenes, and that is the whole end point of the entire visual novel to get to that scene, those should obviously be banned. And that
so should we ban all visual novels?
No. You just ban visual novels where people are purposely showing the sex scenes. You can turn off those scenes in those games. And that's the thing. In those games, when you're purposely doing those games and the sex scene comes up, that is part of the game. That is like that is the end result of the game. That is like literally what you're actually supposed to work towards.
Well, what if you don't know anything about the game? What if you haven't done like any screening or like playing it forward or done a whole bunch of research? Like, what if chat recommends a game and then like halfway through it suddenly does a twist and shows nudity and then it gets them banned on stream? Is that their fault?
Well, no. Here's the thing though. If you cover it up or if you turn on streamer mode and you realize what you've done and you remove it, you are making it not the focus of the stream. That is okay. That's the whole point I'm saying. It's context. And that's the problem. Twitch doesn't want to do context. Twitch wants to make it AI capable to ban things. because that is what tech
AI
companies
is
are
not
doing.
good enough yet.
That's the problem. AI is exactly what's doing this, and it's not good enough. That's why these companies are being so fucking stupidly vague about it.
I
That's
mean, you
why
could be playing
YouTube
just
won't.
about anything, and then, the
Yeah.
bot thinks that there's a nip slip when you're literally just playing a game about, cows or
Yeah.
something.
That's why I'm saying, if the game is based, if nudity is the focus, that should never be allowed under any circumstance on Twitch. Under any circumstance. Twitch is not an 18 plus website. Nudity should not be a fucking focus under any circumstance.
So then why did they add the category that was like beaches, bikinis, and butts, or whatever it is?
Because technically, it's not nudity. It is sexually themed, but it's not nudity. And that's the second problem.
See, now
The
you're trying to
second
define
pro-
what nudity is, because
No, I'm
I
not.
think someone that's not
Nudity
wearing
is very
shirts and
clear.
pants is nude.
But that's the problem.
If you're wearing
Nudity is a very
underwear or a
defined-
bikini, it's the same exact thing.
Well,
It's
that's
the
the
same
problem.
exact thing.
But that's the problem. Nudity is a defined term. If there's no tits and if there's no ass, it's not nudity.
So if you can see 99.999 repeating percent, it's not nudity.
Are the nipples visible?
You can see most of it. You can see
If-
90% of the pixels.
But are the nipples visible? If
You
the
can,
nipples
you're
aren't
not
visible
you
by law,
you're
it's not
you're
nudity.
you have 1% of nipple covered.
If you have 1% of nipple covered, then you have 99% of nipple visible. That's nudity.
Okay, and that's
If
what
the
I'm saying, is
entire
that people wearing
nipple
micro
is
bikinis
covered-
are naked.
No, they're not. None of the nipple is visible when you're wearing a bikini.
That's still
See, that's
nudity,
the problem.
though.
But it's not. It's an actual legal term. You can't say it's nudity because you're factually wrong. Law has stated what nudity is. And that's why if Twitch just simply used the legal fucking definition, they could get out of this very easily and fix everything. But
So
they
if
keep
people just
wanting
put
to,
on these tiny pieces of tape, they can walk around not wearing any clothes.
by law, yes.
It's stupid.
I know it's stupid, but it doesn't matter because if the law says they can, they can. That's the problem. That's the problem. Twitch is making up rules.
Freddie's regretting being
and I
here.
hate it. It's frustrating because
No.
Now here's the thing though. Remember how I said there's a second part and the second part is sexual content? What you just described, Sparrow, is not nudity. Full stop. You can't argue that. But what you can argue is that is obviously sexual content. Because
Even if
nobody
they're not
walks
doing
around like
anything?
that. It doesn't matter. Nobody walks around like that.
Some people like to
Because-
be naked. That's their choice.
You're right. Some people like to be naked, but in our society, the United States of America, nudity is considered illegal in public. It is considered indecent exposure. So technically, you can't be nude in public
You can't wear
unless
a bikini
you're
in
in a
public.
specific area. I mean, actually, yes, you can. You can wear a bikini in public.
You cannot go into establishments wearing just a bikini. You cannot go
different.
into a strip mall.
Established.
You cannot go into a library.
Well, you're mixing up public and private. All of those places are private.
A
The
public
second you-
library?
Yeah, a public library.
Oh my gosh.
No. Actually,
Freddy.
a public library is slightly different because a public library can be public or private. It depends on if the state runs it. But here's the thing, though: when you've left the street and you've entered an establishment, you've entered an actual.
If you're
public
walking down the street
or
and you pass
private
by a
location.
park where there's a bunch of kids, are you allowed to
Yes.
wear whatever you want?
Yes, you are. And if the city tries to arrest you for it, you sue them, and you actually win a very large.
It
lump
sort of
sum
depends
because you
on which
technically can.
part of which city and which
True.
country. But
I heard free
True.
money.
You are right. Technically, laws are fungible, and it's really fucking stupid. And I fucking hate our legal system because of it.
and that's why digital laws should be different than physical laws.
Yeah. No, I'm
Because
100%
technically speaking, Twitch is a private owned company and whatnot. So they could allow
You're right.
porn.
Oh no,
on
they
their site.
can. They 100% can. The problem is not that they are choosing not to or to. The problem is they're so fucking stupid in how they're wording it.
You know what YouTube did that was super great? They specifically made a kids only category that
Yes.
made it so that, people with this, age in their account cannot access the rest of YouTube. And they also said that if this is 18 plus content, so they,
Mhm.
specifically, limit certain videos to the
But
like
here's
age
the thing,
restrict
though.
them and whatnot.
YouTube is so much better at actually explaining what is okay and what is not. Now,
Yes.
granted, they are
I
fucking
agree.
terrible at other
Yes.
things. They're so fucking terrible at other things.
Oh, I'm not
But
saying that
it's
YouTube is
yeah,
perfect. I'm just saying that clearly someone has done something good and right, and I don't
yeah,
understand why people don't learn from that.
exactly, exactly. That's the problem.
All
Twitch
Twitch
is
needs to
being
do is have
dumb.
like specific categories or whatnot that people can choose and whatnot. Sort of, I guess, with like the bikini boobs and butts or whatever. But like in
Actually,
in
it's even
general,
easier
like
than that.
you
It's
can
even
make your
easier.
channel 18 plus or whatnot, and then you have like different rules and allowed of whatever you're doing.
Well, here's
I would
here's the
love
thing though,
that.
Sparrow. It's actually even easier than what you just said. Here's all you have to do. And this is actually something that is doable right now that websites are doing and it's probably going to be something that is considered the norm very soon. All you have to do is when a certain tag is attached to a fucking stream, you
Mm.
have the ability to turn on or off those tags. And if you turn those tags on or off in your filter, they no longer show up on your homepage. You have to actively look for them. That's all they had to do. Because then you can turn off sexual content. Now nobody that uses the sexual content tag will ever show up for you. That's all they had to do. And it's not a difficult thing to do because everybody does that.
Can I
There
add something
is
real quick?
like content classification where you do have to, notify that if you are doing gambling or drug use or sexual content.
But it
That's
still shows
not
up
the
on your
same thing.
homepage.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is that you need to add a filter so it doesn't show up on the homepage. And that's not difficult to do because if you can filter things on the homepage based on a tag, then you can filter things off the homepage based on a tag. It works both ways. If
Yeah,
it
I
works one way, you can instantly and easily program it the other way.
before I had a Twitch account and I would like go to the Twitch page or whatnot, like
Hmm.
the majority of the first things that were on the front page was a girl like opening up her shirt or like her,
Yeah,
bikini and whatnot and just like jiggling them around and whatnot. I'm like,
yeah.
what? This is Twitch has just had put a terrible presentation of what their website is for the longest time that I've just never wanted to touch it with a
Yep.
15-foot pole. I'm just
But
now trying to get in touch with it, but it's just getting worse and worse and worse, and I'm legitimately debating whether or not I actually want to
but
keep trying
Sparrow,
to do this.
it's been fixed. That's never going to happen again now.
We'll see
You
with
didn't
this
realize?
new T.
Well, no. Anybody using the sexual content tab is now completely barred from being on the homepage under Discovery.
I
You no
still
longer
get
show up
people
now
using the hot tub streams on the front page.
because they don't tag it.
Yeah, but they should.
Because hot tub streams are
Because you
not
can't
considered
trust
sexual.
people to, do the stuff that they're supposed to.
That's the point, though. What they did when they changed this TOS, the other thing they did on it is that they basically made sexual content and sexual themes all one tag, and they gave it a definition, which is sexual content. And a hot tub stream is not sexual technically.
If
By
someone
Twitch's
plays
example.
Dungeons and Dragons, do they need to, tag their stream as gambling content? Because you're technically, relying on the roll of the dice.
I mean, technically, gambling requires an actual amount of money on the table as well as luck. So D and
Oh,
D can
okay,
never
so
actually be
it's like a
considered gambling.
monetary, like transactional
Yeah,
thing.
there
Okay.
has to be an actual monetary transaction based on luck. See,
So
that's what
if
I'm saying.
people are
There are
playing
legal
like Mario
definitions for
Kart,
these things.
if people are playing Mario Kart and they're betting money, that's gambling.
That's actually not gambling either because it's considered an act of skill, not an act of randomness. and acts of skill are legal,
How
which
does
is
that make
why,
sense?
Yeah,
which is why, which is why poker places are legal in states that don't allow gambling.
because it's skill based.
Yes,
How is that not gambling?
I
How does
know. I agree with
That
you.
doesn't
It
make
is still
any
the luck of the
sense.
draw.
Look,
Exactly.
that's how it is in California. California, gambling is fully illegal. But if it's skill based, it's not gambling. It has to be random.
What the
So
fuck?
you can't do slots. Slots are random. You can't do roulette.
Well, that would be
roulette
sexual
is random.
content.
But you can do card games. Those are skill. You can gamble in
So
the
what? So
gamble in
if I wanted
California
to
if it's
play
a card
Russian
game.
roulette and bet some money on that, that's not gambling.
No,
That
that is gambling. That is gambling, which means you have to go to an Indian reservation to do it.
Oh my god.
It's dumb, I know, but it is a legally defined thing. And that's the problem. Twitch doesn't want to use legally defined things. And they're fucking themselves because of it.
It's because they're just trying to allow all of their streamers to sort of do what they want, because they want more streams, they want more streamers, they want more people investing in putting,
And do you know
content
why?
on, because they want more people to be doing more on their service, because then they get money and whatnot.
Exactly. That's the reason why they didn't do it.
Because
the
if
correct
they
way.
just suddenly cut out like no sexual content, no nothing, you can't
They
draw it,
lose
you
money.
can't do, yeah. They would
And
lose
that's
so
the
many
problem.
streamers.
That's the only reason Twitch is doing this. They want money.
Exactly.
And that's the crux of the whole problem.
Because I remember when people did stuff on YouTube and they're like, okay, I have to draw this much of my character because I can't start from scratch because that's starting with the body, and that might be considered sexual content. Like, there were people that were legitimately scared about showing like speed draws on their channel for a long time unless they
Yeah.
actually like pre-planned the clothes and stuff and whatnot. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's so stupid, but it
That
makes
is stupid.
sense.
I agree with you. That is stupid. But here's the problem, though. If you're drawing a nude character, the highlight is nudity. It shouldn't be allowed. Full stop.
But if you're drawing a character from nothing, you have to draw
Doesn't
like
matter.
the body form. You have to draw anatomy, and you
Well,
have to
no,
do
no.
stuff.
You don't have to draw anatomy. You draw it like a Ken or Barbie doll. Is that dumb? Yes, it is.
But if
here's
the character doesn't have any clothes, and then you like fill the silhouette with flesh color, is that nude?
no, of course not, because
It's not
there's no
nude until
anatomy.
you add details.
Until you add anatomy.
That's
Or
what
else-
people were scared
or
about on
else
YouTube.
A
while back.
3-year-old would not be able to go with their parents into a store and buy a Barbie doll that can be completely nude. Because it's not nudity unless there's genitalia.
So if someone wears like a full skin tight suit that shows every crevice of their body, but isn't actually their skin, then it's fine.
Depends on the context. Because that's, again, where you go into the whole section of sexual content. Because sexual content isn't nudity. Sexual content is... And here's the big fucking problem.
Can
Twitch-
you wear a
Twitch does
shirt
not-
that has boobs on it? Or
Well, okay,
something
so-
that pixels,
so here's-
randomly generated pixels that kind of looks like something.
Yeah. So here's the problem, and this is the whole reason why there's so many people fucking with the TOS right now, and why so many people are getting banned. Twitch does not seem to understand the concept of sexual content. They do not seem to understand that the way it is defined is sexual content is not nudity. It has never been nudity. It never will be nudity. Sexual content is context and intent. Just being nude is not sexual content. Full stop. Now,
So how do you define sexual content? Because if someone
something attempting to be sexual?
if someone
sexualized.
takes off their shoes,
Mm-hmm.
that could get people aroused.
You're right. That can get people aroused, but it's not
Wait,
considered.
testing, 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you. So
Oh.
you're right. You're 100% right. Taking off your shoes could be considered sexual content.
Yeah,
What
and
is
it's
the
not
intent?
depending upon the streamer. It's not depending upon what they're doing. It depends on the audience, and
No,
that's the
that's not
tough
true.
thing.
That's not true.
Hmm?
What is the context? I'm taking off my shoes to change my shoes. You can never consider that sexual content. The context is clear. There's nothing sexual about it. Now, if somebody else gets sexually aroused by it, doesn't matter. That's that person.
Okay, so what if someone's role playing that they're coming home from work and they're taking off their shoes and they're looking at the camera like, "Why are you watching me?"
What's the context? What is the reason for this?
That's what I'm saying is that there are people that will do that.
Yeah. And that's why it depends on context.
Yeah, I mean, if someone like
if
takes
they're
off their
just
clothes because
role-
they're going to take a shower, but they're not actually showing anything, is that sexual content?
what's the context? Or is it they came home,
They're
they talked
they're
to you,
doing it
they
because
take
that
off
they
their
know their
clothes?
audience likes it.
Doesn't matter. That's
See,
if
that's the thing
audience
is that
likes
you
it, that's
can't
great.
define what context is.
But you can. You can legally define
You
context.
you can't define what someone's intent is because they can simply say no.
But that's
This
the
is
thing.
the reason why
That's the
legal
thing.
battles usually come down to like,
Who's more expensive?
yes,
That's
exactly.
basically, yeah. And you're right. That is true. But there are situations where context is obvious. If the person is doing it and the point of it is sexual, they're really focused. So here's where the highlighting comes into play. Highlighting the sexual content makes it sexual content. Not highlighting it, it's just there. That's where it can be iffy. If you're playing a game where the game has sexual content as its focus, you're highlighting it. If you were playing a game and it just has sexual content in it, and you just get through it, you're not highlighting it. You're not making the stream that content. Sure, it's now in the stream, and you can go back and watch it again if you want, but you're not highlighting it. And the fact that you're not highlighting it means it is not the focus. This is the exact definition and the reasoning that all movies use too. You can have sex in a movie. That's okay. But the movie can't be about sex. That makes it porn.
Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
So is it percentage of time on film, or is it like the
Context.
amount of content actually showed?
It's context. I don't know why so many people have difficulty with context, because I'm not saying that on you. I'm saying that on just people in general don't seem to understand context, and it drives me crazy. If you've got a movie and the movie has sex in it, but the movie's not about sex, the content is clear. The context is clear. It's not about sex. So if you have a coming of age movie and the character falls in love with their love interest, and at some point during the movie there is sex, that is not the focus of the movie. Some people will say it's their focus of the movie.
So that
but it
movie
is
shouldn't
not-
be age restricted or, hidden from
Well-
certain viewers.
It's not that it shouldn't be age restricted. You can say that it's age restricted because it has a certain thing, but it's still not considered. It's still not considered the highlight, and that's
If a
what matters.
PG-13 movie that could be played
Has-
on Disney
Mhm.
Channel suddenly has a scene where freaking, I don't know any modern cartoon.
Yeah.
If they actually like went and did the deed and they showed actual, stripping and penetration and a bunch of other stuff. But that's only for like 10 minutes in like a full 2-hour movie. And the
Now,
rest
well-
of everything else is PG-13. Is that okay to show to children?
because it can't be PG-13 because there's actual definitions on what PG-13 is. You can't actually do that in a
I'm talking
PG-13
about
movie.
the 90% of everything else has like
Yeah.
nothing. Like this is completely out of nowhere. This should not be in this film.
Yeah. I mean,
It's like when you're watching SpongeBob and then it does like a gross zoom in. It's like, wah, wah. I'm like, why is that in here? I absolutely do not want that in here. That is absolutely disgusting and gross.
yeah.
Why do they allow stuff like that?
Like I said, when it comes to a lot of different things, when when it comes to a lot of different things having to do with sex, there are definitions that are used in law that are very easy to follow.
But there's never any sort
Very
of
easy to follow.
specific thing other than just like, if you're going to show any sexual content, then don't. And basically,
Yeah.
there is no
No, there
like
is.
specific definition of sexual content. So the
There
best
is.
thing you can do is just sort of skirt away
No, there
from it.
is. There's literal novels worth of definitions. The MPIA that goes through all the ratings for all movies is very clear in what is allowed and what is not allowed in certain ratings. It's not something that is difficult to understand. You just gotta read it. You
No,
just
I'm
gotta
saying
read the
that
definition.
that's why that's the problem with people these days, is that they don't think about what their actions are affecting other people. They just know what works and what doesn't work, and they just run with it, and they try to go as
Oh,
far as they can.
I
I'm not
agree.
even talking about the
I
people
agree.
that are like skirting around the edge of TOS, or the people that are trying to push the limits of like,
Yeah.
well, the technical law says this. I'm talking about people that are actually just like,
Like
going.
the hot tub streams.
Yeah.
The hot tub streams are a perfect example of what you're saying. And here's the thing. Hot tub streams should never have been allowed. They are sexual content.
Yes.
They are sexual content. That is their purpose.
It is unfortunate because
That's the whole thing I'm saying.
Right.
This stuff is very cut and dry. A fucking hot tub stream is sexual content. It should never have been allowed. That's the whole point I'm saying. You're finally getting it. There are
What do you mean I'm
contexts
finally
behind
getting
this.
it? This has been my entire point that I've been trying to prove, is that
But
they
that's
just
what
shouldn't have been.
No,
My
and
first point was
I've been
them
agreeing with
saying
you the whole
that
time.
this new TOS is getting
Yeah.
more lax when they should have gotten more strict. That's
Yeah,
what I've been
they
saying this
should've.
entire time.
They 100% should have. I'm with you. I don't think nudity should be allowed, period.
Yeah, let's
There's only
just-
certain small instances where I think it should be allowed. Very small
so,
instances.
we all agree that Twitch is doing this for money.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
that's the
it's wrong.
crux.
Yeah.
But Telkers want to give more nuance or like the specifics of these things, and that most people go by like what they think what things are when there
Yeah.
are specific things.
Yeah,
that are
there's very
specific definitions.
there's specifics to do this. And the problem is Twitch doesn't want to use those specifics.
Yeah,
They want to be
and
vague.
There
Because by
are
being vague,
people
they
that
make
will
more
say
money.
like, "Oh, well, this is my national heritage. You need to allow me to wear this like very nothing covering loincloth and walk around in front of a billion people." And Twitch
Yeah.
needs to say like, "No, we're not going to allow that." And
Exactly.
it has nothing to do with your heritage or your nationality. It's that there are certain
Well-
things that we're not going to allow you to live stream
Yeah.
to the internet for infinite people to see.
So there's a difference with that though. Because it doesn't matter what your fucking heritage is. Twitch is an American company. So American heritage is the only heritage that matters. Again, legal definitions. Doesn't fucking matter what your heritage is.
I mean,
Twitch is an American company.
This is a story that's like years old, but it summarizes the perfect example of what our current problem is today. Is that
Yeah.
there was 2 female attendants working
Mhm.
at I think an airport,
Yeah.
and one of them was a white woman in her late 30s, blue eyes, brown hair, just very non-distinct Caucasian woman. She
Yeah.
wanted to wear a American flag pin on her lapel because her dad got it for her birthday, and it was something that he wore on his uniform, and he thought that it would look really nice on her uniform. She was fired because she wore it to work. Meanwhile, her best friend, who was, I think, Indonesian, but wore a hijab because she was, shoot, I forget the word. I want to say Jewish, and it's not Jewish. But yes, basically, she wore like a full face covering shawl, only showing her eyes, because that was her nationality and whatnot. Even
Yeah.
though that there are specific rules and regulations in if you go into an airport, you're not allowed to wear non-distinct face coverings and whatnot.
Yeah.
And she like wrote up this big whole letter and like tried to take them to court and was still, you know, she lost. She was unable to refute it because it came down to nationality and freedom of person rather than actual, you know, rules and regulations. And that's so stupid because the only thing that she did was she put a speck on her uniform, and it was the most American national thing that she could have done. And that was the wrong thing to do.
It was a flare thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is
But she was out of uniform.
Yeah. And if you're out of uniform, if you're not working, like if you're not working,
no, she was
you
working,
should-
but because she wore that pin, her uniform was not correct.
yeah. I mean,
that was the term I was saying, is that she was
Yeah.
she was dishonorably discharged because she was out of uniform by wearing this pin.
yeah. And I mean, I don't like flare. I don't like flare. Like I don't like the whole arguments of I should be allowed to have flare or that kind of stuff. Because like if a company wants to have a uniform and you don't want to follow it, you don't work for that company. Full stop.
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck.
There
what
are
you,
dumb
what your
rules that
nationality
don't
is.
make any
no one
sense.
Gives a no one gives a fuck what your nationality is. No one gives a fuck how patriotic you want to be. If the rules for that company is we all wear a uniform, you wear the fucking uniform, and if you're out of uniform, you are fired.
Because
Full
there are you know, like dress uniforms for people in the military where they have to wear gloves. However, that glove will get caught in the gun mechanism, causing possibly a dangerous injury and your gun to not be able to work in, you know, service time. And, you know, thankfully it's not required now, but that was a legitimate problem that they had. That they were, you know, as soon as they went out to the field, they cut off the finger for their gloves.
Yeah.
And then when they went back into camp, they would just suffer the punishment for doing that.
And you know, there's only one thing you need to do for that. All you have to do, take them to court and point out just how dangerous it is.
Yeah.
I mean, the military is a different thing, but, you know.
Well, true.
It has a whole different system.
It does. I know.
Anything in the
I'm
military is
military.
dangerous.
I know it has a different system.
If all the mothers in America took the army to court because it was putting their child in danger, there would not be a military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just plain and simple.
100% agree. Yeah.
There is a
Military's
new
different,
system
though.
actually where people that go through boot camp are given a red card. They can like hold up a card whenever they feel like they're being oppressed, whenever they feel like their, you know, God-given, you know, American rights are being oppressed or whatnot. Whenever their feelings are hurt, they're allowed to hold up a card and be like, I want to take a time out.
Yeah.
And it's the stupidest thing ever because it stops people from actually getting shaped and molded by the process. There are some people that just aren't fit for the military. And those people need to be...
There are some people that just aren't fucking fit for reality right now.
That's another issue, but yes.
Yeah, I don't fucking like how snowflake everyone is. It drives me fucking
The
insane.
Marine Corps, you know, not him, but like their motto is the few, the proud, the Marine. Because it is very difficult to become a Marine. It is so hard. The few, the proud, the Marines. Because it takes a lot of determination and work and ethic to actually make it. If everyone could become a Marine, they would just do it because they just want to be like the cool kids or whatnot.
Yeah. I fucking hate so much how everyone has to have their way these days.
What I hate the most is that we're
censored.
giving that to them.
Yeah.
Rather than having them work for it or like actually making it happen. We're just letting people do whatever they want. It's like
Yeah.
that annoying kid in class that just starts making noise and, calling people slurs and throwing things across the room. And the teacher's like, "Oh, don't mind them. They'll give up eventually. Just don't pay attention to them."
I mean, that's a totally different thing that just drives me fucking insane. And
But
I'm
I
not-
mean, that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
Is we're just
yeah,
letting people, make a mess and do all these terrible things rather than actually teaching them that if you want to be part of the society, there are certain things that you don't do. You don't tell a fat woman that she is pregnant or whatnot, and be like, "Oh, I'm not pregnant. I'm just fat." And then, like, that was like the biggest joke of all time, is like when you walk up to a fat woman, like, "Oh, when's the baby due?" And she's like, "Excuse me," you know.
Yeah.
There are certain things that you just don't do because you're not an idiot. And we told people that they were idiots. Now we stop doing that. Now we just let people do whatever they want. And so when a child decides, "I want to be a dinosaur when I grow up," we let them be a dinosaur when they grow up. I mean, that's like a whole different thing or whatever. But
Yeah,
I'm not
we-
going to get into eugenics or
rather-
whatnot. But like,
Yeah.
It seems that today we rather let people live in delusion than like put
We
the
would
further
rather let people live in delusion than to deal with the actual real world, which ends up making the real world much more worse because everyone is living in their own little delusion and nothing's being changed.
But see, the whole point of making people feel special isn't by like letting them have stuff for free. It's telling them that this is the way that the world works. It's very difficult to do a bunch of different stuff, but you can make things happen. This is America. You can do stuff, and you can, you can rent a dinosaur costume, or you can make one your own. There's a whole bunch of, things that you can do. You have to
And there's
work
nothing
for it.
wrong
You have
with
to
that.
earn it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I the only thing that is worse than someone living in delusion is a collective of people living in delusion.
Yeah. Which makes me laugh because we're all VTubers and we technically live in our own delusion.
I don't think I'm a sparrow.
Hold the fuck up, you don't?
No, this is not a persona that I'm putting on. This is literally just a title and a thing that I'm putting on. Oh, he's
And he's
left.
gone.
I'm just a fucking gremlin on the couch. Okay, I'm just here to. I'm just here.
I mean, technically speaking, Telgar is a brain trapped in
Yeah.
a meat suit.
He
so.
he is a physical brain, and for some odd reason, I want to squeeze his tentacles.
Yeah.
All right, let TOS, please. We were literally just talking about this.
Yeah.
Indeed. But either way, there are other things wrong with Twitch that will probably be brought up another time.
Yeah.
Like you.
Twitch can't. I feel like Twitch can't handle my stupidity.
I'm still waiting for you to have your debut.
Debut.
Yeah. How many years has it been?
Like 2 years. I'm still setting things up. It's been 2 whole years. But the other thing. the other
Here's the thing.
bird-
You will always say "if only." Okay.
If only I had
If
money.
only I could have this. If only I get to this point. Then once I get a computer or a nicer computer. Just start making steps. Start doing little things. Don't just wait until you have like the perfect lifestyle and the perfect house that you've always wanted. Enjoy life now and do stuff now.
But
Anywho.
the other thing is about Twitch. It's mainly the people also.
Yeah.
For like, let's say like some big Twitch streamer it said something bad or it made some kind of sexual funny joke. That person's gonna take that shit seriously and then make a whole big deal of it on social media.
Mhm.
They go out of their way to like cancel the person, get that person banned just for just a stupid reason.
Well, actually, Twitch would rather go out of their way and change the way that the rules works rather than actually like getting rid of one of their top sources of income. And that's not the way that you should run a service like Twitch.
You guys
People are so
remember
easily
the
offended.
whole sniper wolf thing that happened a couple months ago?
Um,
Was it's kind of like that?
which thing? There's been lots of things.
Yeah, the doxing and YouTube kind of like not doing nothing for at least a week.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You haven't seen the sniper wolf dilemma that happened
You
2
know,
months
allow
ago?
me to evolve.
Telgar, do you know? Oh my goodness. All right.
What was that?
Telgar, do you know about the sniper wolf thing?
Um,
Whoops. I just deleted
Depends. Are you
Freddy.
talking about the doxing or
Yeah.
after the doxing?
Yeah, the doxing and YouTube doing nothing about it for like a week or
Yes,
something.
I'm very aware of it. So this is basically what happened. Sniper Wolf is a person on YouTube. They're very well known for being fucking unhinged. And one of the things they did is on a completely different platform. They went to an actual streamer's house, which
Epic.
showed the address and harassed them
Why?
by posting it online
What
on
the
Instagram.
fuck?
Here's the problem. They doxed the person by showing the house, which means anybody can now look it up and now know where that streamer lives. And I won't say the streamer's name because then I'm technically doxing them by doing that.
Okay.
But it was an incredibly big streamer. Very fucking big. Like, I don't know if it'd be PewDiePie levels of big, but they're big.
Is it someone that I would know?
It's somebody everybody knows.
Okay.
Every single person here knows them because the name is very,
Yeah,
very well
we
known.
probably just type in the Discord chat later. If you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
But anyway-
type in the Discord group
Yeah.
chat.
So anyway, she posted on Instagram. Anybody can now find the person's address. Here's the problem.
Is
They
that
ever stream-
illegal to do though?
By definition, no. Because harassment laws literally have no teeth in almost every single state. Except for like maybe California. And California is not really well used. Like you can't cyberstalk people in California.
It happened in California.
Yeah, you can't cyberstalk people in California, but here's the problem. A kid in high school could literally say, "Hey, I'm gonna kill you," like in a streamer or like call them or something like that, and they would probably get arrested. And then you can literally go on YouTube and say it 50 fucking times about one person, and you will never get fucking touched because you're worth money, and a kid's not worth money. So people will throw a kid in prison for life, but they won't throw a person who's actually worth money in jail. It's really fucking stupid. I hate the fucking laws when it comes to cyberbullying and whatnot, because kids take the full fucking blunt of it. And it's stupid. And yet somehow it's never applied to adults. It's never fucking applied to people who are being harassed. It's never fucking applied to abusers in relationships. It's the dumbest fucking law in the world. And I hate it. Anyway, back to Sniper Wolf. She doxed the person, but she doxed the person on Instagram. Everybody's up in arms, telling YouTube that they should ban her. YouTube doesn't do a single fucking thing to her. And here's the reason why. Wasn't their platform. Doesn't matter if she's on YouTube, and the person she doxed is on YouTube, and then she talks about the person on YouTube, and talks about the situation leading up to the doxing on YouTube. The actual act was not on YouTube, and therefore YouTube won't touch it. Now, is that right? No, because YouTube does not allow doxing, period. So the fact that they did it on a different platform shouldn't matter. It's still part of their TOS, their TOS, that you're not supposed to be doxing other people. So technically, they can go after her for doing it on a different platform, but they won't. Because she
Yeah,
makes them a lot of money.
Demonetized it.
Yeah,
just
they
demonetized it.
demonetized her, which doesn't matter because
Yeah.
YouTube still makes that money. She just doesn't get any of it. That's the problem. YouTube will not get rid of you when you do something bad on their platform. Instead, they just take your money because they make more money by doing that. That's the problem with YouTube. YouTube's really great with a lot of their rules. But instead of getting rid of people, they just simply take your money and let you stay on the platform. That's what they like to do. Yeah.
I mean,
So that's the
they
sniper
kinda-
wolf for me situation.
They kind of incentivize you to like leave the platform. Like we're not going
Yeah.
to kick you. We're just going to like take everything you would make so until you leave.
And it's not permanent either. They only do it
Yeah.
until the cries calm down, and then they give it back to you. Because if you leave, they lose money too. This is a pretty common problem on YouTube. People will obviously skirt the rules and do things that are wrong. There are straight up people who have committed full-blown federal crimes, federal fucking felonies on YouTube by illegally DMCAing people.
Weren't there
Basically-
multiple YouTubers who?
Oh yeah. What's his name? Quantum. Quantum is a perfect example. Quantum is a guy who will go around and he'll find people who are either his competition in his job or who are saying things that he doesn't like. And he will DMCA them, saying they used his clips and get them taken down. Problem is, fair use says you can do that. But DMCA isn't something you argue. DMCA is automatic, and you have to fight it to reverse it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the person
by
is
that
allowed
point,
to
they've already lost
counterclaim.
views and whatnot.
Exactly. And the person who put in the claim in the first place can re-counterclaim it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to go to court to reverse it. And no one does because court is court. Costs money.
Yeah.
And that's by law on purpose. Because the MPAA, or whoever it is that does DMCA stuff, they did not want it to be something that you could easily reverse. They wanted it to be instantaneous, and they wanted it to be completely non-touched by human hands. They wanted it to literally be, this happens now. You want
You know the reason why they do that?
Because they want to be able to take down anything that actually touches their money. Because
And
it all has to do with money.
And the reason why it's so cut and dry like that is because they don't even want people to skirt towards that edge. They don't
No.
want people to be like, "Oh, I'm only showing like a quarter of my screen or what." Just don't. Just don't.
They want to be able to, if they wanted to be able to shut down anyone that even whispers the fucking name of the piece. Now, they're not going to because that's taking it too far, but the law allows them to if they want to, because no one's going to fight them in court. And that's the problem. It's a bully tactic. They got it passed that way as a bully tactic because they wanted to be able to bully people who literally take material and cost them money.
And
They don't
that's
care.
why Rick Astley actually got into like a whole bunch of trouble because people were doing Rick rolls, and I mean this is like one of the earliest memes and jokes and whatnot is doing a Rick roll. If people who don't know what a Rick roll is, basically it's like, hey, I want you to check out this link to something, like look at pictures of cats or whatnot, and then they send them the link to a YouTube video that's usually like renamed or whatever, but it's Rick
Actually-
Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up.
So I would actually preface that as, if you don't know what a Rickroll is, where the fuck have you been living?
Anywho, the point being is that it's been one of the earliest things that you can do on the internet. This is how people used to troll and have fun
Yeah.
before it actually got
People
toxic
still
and
do it.
whatnot. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying, is that it used to be just like
Yeah.
a funny little thing of like, oh, hey, look at this thing that was not the thing I was looking for. And then
Yeah.
it turned into clickbait, which
Yep.
did become hurtful and harmful. And now you can do it to actually get people DMCA'd, because if they pull up Rickroll on their YouTube video or their stream or whatnot on Twitch, even if it's for a couple seconds, they can get completely destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And
And you know
so,
why?
why?
Because it's all done by AI.
Right, exactly. And so there was like this big whole thing for like Rick Astley. It was like he was getting legitimately angry and upset of people like asking him like, "Oh, I thought you were
Yeah.
never gonna give us up," you know, and just like him. There have been like actual like screenshots of him being like "f off" and just like
Well, you know why he was so pissed?
I mean, it's not even his fault. He just made, you know, he didn't choose to be chosen like this and whatnot.
Oh no, he loves the fact that he's still known for it. He may not. That wasn't the reason why he was getting pissed off. He didn't own the rights to the song
What?
until just recently.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was
Okay.
just a couple of years ago where he actually got the rights back to the purchased the rights to the song back. I'm pretty sure. Let me verify just to make sure because
Okay,
I don't like
okay.
this. I don't like to spread bullshit. But I could have swore for the longest time he did not have the rights, and that's normal. You don't have the rights to your song. Your studio has the rights to your song.
Right, right.
So let me look it up just to make sure.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, but because people were doing Rick rolls, which is such a dangerous thing now because of DMCA
Yeah.
and like how you can basically shut down someone's entire operation by doing like a media share and whatnot, and them struggling to be like, no, shut it off, that's copyrighted.
Yeah.
That was like so detrimental to people, and you know people were using the Rick rolls to do it,
Yeah.
because that was the original, so that's what people would do. I think there was like an actual like petition to take all like Rick Astley Never Gonna Give You Up off of like social media platforms of like I think they were trying to go after YouTube and like Spotify and some other things and whatnot, but yeah, it was like a legitimate problem.
Here we go.
Anyways, that's
So,
so upsetting and
Here's
sad.
the information. However, while Rick Rolling was everywhere, it didn't make Astley rich. Mental Floss, the website that I'm using, or no, Mental Floss, I guess the person who did the
I mean, he
article,
put that up to YouTube
reported-
before like YouTube actually like paid their
Well, hold on.
artists or anything.
So Mental Floss reported that as of 2010, it's just a long time ago, but still when it was in its height, he was paid $12 for the song because he doesn't have songwriting credits. So he didn't really have the rights to royalties to that song. So anytime it was played, he's not the one that's paid. His studio is the one that's paid. And therefore, his studio has the rights to go after people who play it. And that's the problem. He had no ability to allow people to play the song because he didn't have the rights. And that's the problem. If you don't have the rights to a song, you can't give copyright usability of it. You're not allowed to. And actually, this article was talking about something in 2010. This article was published in 2023, and it never said anything about him owning the song now. He may still not own the song, actually.
Wow.
That's fucking insane if that's the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not saying anything about whether he owns it or not now. That he may, and I'm not going to say he doesn't. I'm not going to say whether he does or doesn't own it now. But as early as 2010, he still did not. He still was not making a single cent off the
Oh
song.
my goodness, giant chibi.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. That is insane.
Not even a penny. He didn't even get a penny from that.
Yeah. He probably got money off the song for its album releases.
Mm-hmm.
But when the song now here's the thing, I don't know, I'm assuming he never received a single cent for the song when it was like played for things, because again, that he doesn't own the songwriting. He's not credited as a songwriter for it. So yeah, I mean, yeah, everything that he makes from the song is probably based upon who he was labeled with. The label company
be
will
honest-
basically make the decisions of how much he makes and how much he doesn't, based upon what his contract was. But the label company is the one that owns the song.
Anywho, we've been
Yeah.
talking about the annoyance of like DMCA and Twitch and like actual serious legal stuff, which is
Yeah.
not really what I wanted this podcast to be about.
Well,
So, before we end, since we've been going for an hour, you were
technically, it was my trifle that I am pissed off at Twitch for how
yes,
dumb they are.
but we went
Twitch
off on a
is-
tangent of that rant to actually
Yeah.
talk about like the specifics of
Yeah.
legality, which is not something that we can change or I mean,
That's true,
if we
yeah.
want to like spend a podcast episode talking about like how much we hate the government and wish the
Yeah.
government was different, I think that would turn this into
Taxes.
like a political podcast.
Yeah,
So
and we don't want it to be a political podcast.
before we end the podcast, I would like to have us go around, and I this is not on the list, but this is something that I've just thought of. I would like us to describe our favorite meme or like prank or trick or whatnot, something like something like Rick rolling or whatnot. I don't know if Rick rolling is like your favorite thing or whatnot, but I will go
Yeah.
first and say gnome. I think the gnome, getting gnomed is like one of the most simplest things. Like the fact that you can make so many people angry with just a "Ooh," I think it's the most harmless thing ever because it's not even like a full. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Freddie. The gnome is so beautiful because of its simplicity. It's not like doing a Rick roll where it plays the whole video of like, here we go, you old chum. I'm not a elf. I'm not a. It doesn't play the whole thing. It's literally just the split second of, whoo, and then like people move on with their day. But it drives people up the wall, and I don't understand why. I think it's great. So I know that it's annoying and it does bother people, but I think it's perfectly safe and that's what a good practical joke is. Is it something
Yeah.
that doesn't actually affect someone detrimentally? If someone was afraid of gnomes and had a natural fear of gnomes, and someone kept harassing that person with gnome videos, that would be different. That's not what I'm saying. Because there are people that are like, oh, I'll put like fake spiders and snakes around my friend's house and give them actual like heart palpitations. I don't think that's funny. I don't think that's funny.
Yeah.
I think putting like
Yeah.
an air horn underneath someone's chair, so when they sit on it, it goes beep, and then it like rockets them up out of the chair. I think that's pretty good. But again, depends on if you're doing it to your roommate or grandpa. There are certain things that you should know better. And so I like practical jokes, but when people think of practical jokes, they think of very bad things. But gnome is my favorite thing. Freddie, what's something that you like? Or if someone else has something that they
Me
know.
personally, I enjoy the stick bug meme.
The stick
Because
bug.
you can make that into anything.
I like how intricate it gets sometimes because people are like, wait, did you see that? And then they pause a video or something, and then they start drawing lines out of like nowhere. And it looks like one of those Illuminati theory videos where you're like, you can see the triangle here. It means that they're part of the Illuminati. And then it turns into stick bug.
I just love that. You can just like get a picture of Obama.
Again, I don't understand why it gets people so heated. And it's not the fact that people get upset by it that I think that it's funny, but I do find that humorous to like, hey man, check out this cool new thing I'm gonna show you, and just show them a stick bug. And they're like, ah, come on, man. Telgar, what's your favorite internet practical joke, meme, or annoyance?
Rickroll.
All right.
Yeah, I
Fair enough.
literally
Rickroll
people
is
every
classic.
single April.
I mean, it's a classical, but I
In
guess
fact-
over the years, it did get A little too.
I mean, when I think
Yeah.
of like a traditional meme, I think of like those pictures where it has like an umbrella background where it's like stripes of white and usually like blue or red or something. And then it's got someone's face in the middle, and sometimes it's like a penguin. I think the penguin was my favorite one, and it was like reverse penguin. Do you guys remember that? It was like it was literally
Kind
the
of, yeah.
meme template of top text, bottom text.
Yeah, I remember those.
Oh my goodness. Those are great. What is Rickroll your number one, or do you have another one that you like?
In terms of like joking memes, yeah. Number
Okay.
one.
So do you still Rickroll people?
Just 2 years ago when I first started YouTubing, when my new model, when I finally had my model and was finally ready, I actually rickrolled people with the release of it. Like I actually created a video of me opening up the YouTube studio and then pulling up the actual model's thumbnail, like showing the actual thumbnail of the models right there. Clicked over to it, and literally as it came onto the screen, a rickroll came onto the screen instead.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and
There's
I caught a lot of people.
there's this great playlist on
So
YouTube,
many
and I'm
people.
sure this exists for just about anything. But the playlist is called Gnome Your Friends, and it's by this guy that does a YouTube channel where he uploads videos, and he doesn't say Rickroll in the title or in the description anywhere, but you know that it's this guy doing it, and he'll upload a video. Like my favorite one is a scene from Harry Potter. In the video title, it's just called "My Favorite Scene from Harry Potter," and then it shows him Hagrid like pulling the egg out and it's hatching, and he's like patting his beard because it's on fire a little bit because the fire breathed on him, and then he looks out the window because Malfoy's supposed to be looking in the window watching this happen, and he's like, "Oh, who's that?" And then it pans over to Harry looking out the window, and then it's just the gnome that goes, "Woo!" And then the video ends. It's stuff like that. It's just like a 3-second video of like, "Oh, this is my favorite video from Harry Potter. Please watch it." And so then people watch it, and then it just ends with, "Woo!" So good. Trying to get people to click on links is so difficult nowadays, especially with Rickrolls, because you can't just like put the actual link to Rick Astley is never going to give you up anymore. You have to find someone that's done a video where like the title and the thumbnail is different or something.
Yeah.
Usually it's like the smile, sweet, sister, sadistic, surprise, and then it like shows something random. Those are pretty good.
Sit down.
I think my favorite one was the one that was happening, I think it was last year, the revenge status,
Oh,
where whatever thing is happening, like that's blocking your attention, maybe something suggestive or something like that, and cut to like Santor Armstrong.
yeah,
punching Rain in
Virgil
the
like
face.
cuts through a bunch of lines.
Yeah,
I am the
those-
storm that is
great.
approaching. Provoke, and then it just shatters the image. Oh, very similar to that is the Doge that's like, "I do not wish to be horny. Silence, wench. I do not wish to be horny any longer. I just wish to be happy." And then he's like, "I don't want to look at smut anymore." And then it's just like him cutting through the image and then like gazing out across the horizon or something. Oh, those are so good. Unfortunately, the horny won over, and now just everything is horny. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
we used to have such good content, and now everyone just does the sexy because everyone clicks on it, and they're like, "Oh, this is actually sexy. I'm gonna keep watching." You know?
Yup.
Yeah, I've seen one that was like has like the title of like revenge status or something like that.
Yeah,
But
revenge.
instead of like cutting off, it didn't was like the whole video, and in the end it's like me realizing that I watched like 30 seconds or something of this, and Santor Armstrong didn't show up or something. Where they get you by not having a punchline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, I realized it's about an hour and 20 minutes. I actually got to head out
Yeah.
because there was another thing I was going to do today after the podcast.
Oh, what was the thing you were good? Is it annoying that the podcast is still going that you don't?
I mean, technically, we've been doing this for an hour and 20 minutes, which is way
Yeah.
longer than
Again,
usual, so you can't use that argument.
we've been going for an hour, and so
Yes.
that was my thing that I was like,
Yeah.
we'll do this as the last thing.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for sharing your
Yes.
thing.
Besides, you know me. I love doing this podcast. I can only do it for about an hour.
Yes, exactly, and that's why I was only.
I lose
doing
my
it for
interest
about
after about the hour point, and I can't help it.
Mhm.
I love it all the way up to that point.
Yeah.